Global Wrestling Federation. You enjoying the action here in the Global Dome, Brandon?
Yes, very exciting.
Now, your family said that you also wanted to be a professional wrestler. All right. Now, tell me about your question for one of the stars here at the GWF.
Well, it's for Al Perez. You're a former world champion. Do you think that helps you in this tournament?
All right, good question. The North American tournament taking place, and we are going to be answering Brandon's question later in this edition when I go and get Al Perez and see what the Latin heartthrob has to say.
Tampa, Florida, Al Perez.
And there you see the Latin heartthrob getting ready for the playoff match against the man from Bad Street.
And his opponent for this very important competition from Bad Street, USA, at 270 pounds, Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Terry Gordy against Al Perez, the playoff match in the North American Heavyweight Championship Tournament of the Global Wrestling Federation.
The winner of this match will face the Patriot for the North American title, Craig. The all-important playoff match.
Quick lockup as Gordy takes Perez back into the corner. Reversal by Perez. James Beard calling for the break. Tries to break them up and physically has to do it. Scouting report. Perez may have the advantage with speed. Has a certain deviousness to him, and he has the ability to use that deviousness to his advantage, while Terry Gordy, the size, of course, a factor, the brawling tactics, plus I think the fans are going to give him the support in this match.
Terry Gordy certainly the fan favorite against Al Perez.
This is a matchup of two former world champions, Al Perez in the world-class organization, Terry Gordy in the UWF, and now going to work on the knee. Remember, it was a figure-4 leg lock that Austin Idol had in the previous round that had done some damage to Al Perez's knee until Bad News Brown came down and delivered the foreign object. So Gordy trying to take advantage of that here. Small package, rolling him up, count of one. Gordy able to escape that predicament.
Terry Gordy, an accomplished singles wrestler as well as a tag team wrestler. He is a former member of the fabulous Freebirds, and as Terry Gordy himself will tell you, once a Freebird, always a Freebird. He may even resent being called a former member of the fabulous Freebirds. He had many, many years of success with that organization, has also had a lot of success with Steve Dr. Death Williams wrestling in Japan.
Current Triple Crown Tag Team Champion over there, as Perez able to keep the headlock on one half of that team. Al Perez, to get to this match, defeated Austin Idol in the semifinals in what at best could be called a tainted victory. Defeated Hollywood John Tatum in the quarters, and in the first round, the Handsome Stranger, and from what I understand, wasn't, as some people would call it, a kosher win.
Oh, no. Not at all, but it does stand, as we mentioned earlier, Craig. No instant replay here in the GWF.
Perez with a big right. Now grabs a hold of the hair of Terry Gordy, back into that side headlock. Gordy to get to this playoff match. Defeated Randy Rhodes in round number 1. Stephen Dane in the quarterfinals. And Cactus Jack with a power bomb on the floor to get the count-out win. And now Gordy against Perez, the playoff match, the winner of this match to take on the Patriot. And now perhaps some more damage to the knee of Al Perez. Pushing him down is Terry Gordy, spinning it around. He may have the figure 4. He has the foot locked in, gets the leg over top. Does he have it quite locked in? Yes, he does.
One would hope for Al Perez's sake that Terry Gordy has this power bomb on the arena floor stuff out of his system, because I don't know, it put Cactus Jack out. He didn't have to get back in the ring and be pinned by Terry Gordy. He just didn't hardly get up and was counted out. I don't think Al Perez wants to go through that, and I don't blame him.
Right now, Al Perez trying to reverse the effects of the figure 4 being held on by Terry Gordy, who just pumps it in there, trying to put more pressure on the ligaments and tendons of the knee of the Latin heartthrob, Al Perez.
Heartthrobs to beat the band here in the GWF. The Latin heartthrob, Al Perez, the Universal heartthrob, Austin Idol, and the Palm Beach heartthrob, Scott Anthony.
By the way, it's a pleasure to be working with you and not with Mr. Anthony.
They're all really
Crowding the announcing booth here. Reversal by Perez as he is able to get it over, but Terry Gordy with a hand on the bottom rope. That will break the hold. James Beard needing to assist there as both men feeling the effects on the knee.
You'll notice Al Perez is going to favor that knee now. Long time in the figure 4 of Terry Gordy, and Perez is going to have to be very careful not to overexert himself and injure that knee more seriously than it's injured already.
Knee lift delivered by Al Perez, and now uses the top rope to come right down on Bam Bam Gordy, using the knee to choke Terry Gordy. And now going back to the foot.
Once the series of matches between Terry Gordy and Bam Bam Bigelow as to who really was the Bam Bam of wrestling, and we're still calling Terry Gordy Bam Bam, and we're still calling Bigelow Bam Bam, so I don't think that issue's been settled either.
Right now, the matter at hand, Al Perez, who has Terry Bam Bam Gordy on the ring apron. James Beard unable to start a count because he's being interfered with by Al Perez. As long as Perez maintains a position close to the ropes, the count will not start. As Gordy now to the outside of the ring.
Gordy doubled over in pain at the hands of Al Perez. Perez well developed, lots of time in the gymnasium, as we've said earlier about the Latin heartthrob.
Knee delivered to the sternum. Hooks the leg. Maybe a count of 2. More like a count of 1.5, however.
Now this rear chin lock from Al Perez, you can't tell from that television angle. You can tell from that one. Wrapped firmly around the chin. Not under the chin, which would make it a chokehold. Referee James Beard right on top of things, seeing that it is a chin lock, not a chokehold on the part of Al Perez on the person of Terry Gordy.
Gordy with a couple of elbows, maybe trying to break the momentum of Perez. But Perez answers with a right. Reversal by Gordy into the ropes. And the sleeper hold applied by Terry Bam Bam Gordy. Perez in the middle of the ring. Gordy has it cinched in.
You can see the look of exasperation on the face of Terry Gordy as this tournament has taken its toll on both of these men.
And one way to break it is to try to break some teeth. And I'm not so sure that Terry Gordy won't be visiting the dentist anytime soon. Gordy trying to shake the effects off. Perez the first to his feet and delivers a boot to the head. Looking around the Global Dome. Confident in his attitude. And now some of the equilibrium taken away from Terry Gordy. That puts effects on the inner ear, takes the balance away, but Gordy with enough sense to deliver a boot. But Perez with more balance right here. Gordy answers. Boot to the midsection. The right sends Perez down to a knee, so maybe Gordy has shaken off the effects. Into the corner. Gordy sends him in, delivers that clothesline as Perez had nowhere to fall back.
Perez in a bad way. Terry Gordy moving in for what could be the final kill on the Latin heartthrob, Al Perez.
Bam Bam would like nothing better than to pick up the gold
The referee, James Beard, tossed out of the way by Terry Gordy. That's going to do it.
Oh, no. I think Gordy was just trying to get at Perez and not before. Obviously, the referee thought it was intentional that he just threw him out.
It's in the history of wrestling, the North American Championship. The winner of this belt will be the challenger for the Global Heavyweight Championship belt. And this man, the TV champion, the Patriot, could very well, as we all know, be that North American champion. Now, the question is, what will that mean to the Patriot, and how about the TV belt?
Well, it would mean an awful lot, because anytime you're involved in any type of athletic endeavor, man, in professional wrestling, your goal is to go to the top, and that's what we're here for. And that's what all these other Patriots are behind me for, is to go straight to the top. Now, if that problem does present itself about the TV belt, well, that's a great problem to have. And that'll just be up to the powers to be in the global office.
All right, well, it would be a very interesting situation. Could one man handle holding two belts? What if two title defenses came up on the same night? Have you ever thought about that?
Well, that's the price you have to pay, Joe. You know, we're in this thing to win, and if we have to do that, if we have to defend two belts in one night, well, we've got enough people out here behind us. We've got enough Patriots all across this country. We can get the job done.
All right, he's probably the only man who could do it. He is the Patriot.
Boni Blackstone back here in the Global Dome with Al Perez. It was noted by one of our fans earlier that, in fact, you are a former world champion. You have that to your credit, and they want to know if this is going to help you here in this North American Championship tournament.
Well, you know something, Bonnie? When you're recognized all over the world as a world champion, that means all promoters from all over call you, because they know when you step in that ring, you're nothing but business. You take the match to heart. You make people know what it feels like to be a professional wrestler. I've held more titles than most anybody in the sport of wrestling today. Only reason is because I don't quit. I don't give up. I get somebody in the ring and I destroy them. I make their tongue hang down to their knees. Their lungs collapse because there's no oxygen flowing, because all they feel is Perez, the Latin heartthrob, pounding away on them, pounding. Can't wait to get out of the ring with me, because when I finish, they wish they played darts instead of wrestling.
Here's the Patriot, the current television champion, going after the North American goal. Patriot with some keys to winning. He's got to get Al Perez while he's tired. That knee injury could affect the Latin heartthrob. The crowd will be to his advantage.
His opponent for the championship bout, at a weight of 240 pounds, from Tampa, Florida, Al Perez.
Al Perez has got several things he's got to do, Craig, to win the North American tournament. Number one, he's got to keep the Patriot off of his feet. Number two, I think he would need to stay out of a power struggle with the Patriot, because the Patriot is going to dominate in that category. And also, he's got to pace himself. This match could go a very long time. The Patriot has a lot of stamina. Al Perez needs to slow down at the very beginning and pace himself for what could be a long match.
Taking a look at the one-on-one, the Patriot with a 2-inch height advantage, 6'4" to 6'2". Weight advantage of almost 40 pounds. Will that wear down Al Perez, although he's pretty worn down after 4 matches so far? And I guess you could say the Patriot has an advantage in hometowns. He has many, while Al Perez hails from just one, Tampa, Florida.
A definite advantage for the Patriot, having all the fan support. There's a good look at the current television champion and hopefully the next North American champion.
A lot of fans feel the way you do. There you see Perez trying to figure out how to attack the man with the red, white, and blue. Collar and elbow tie-up. As the Patriot using that power. And I don't know if Perez lost his balance or if perhaps the knee might still be affected.
I think
Perez is going to go take a respite, it looks like.
A little bit of both there, I think. The knee has still got to be bothering him, and plus being shoved around by somebody 6'4" or 280 like the Patriot. That'll knock me down. I don't mind telling you.
The Patriot, his road to the championship match, a star-spangled one, so to speak, defeating former USWA champion, the Soul Taker, in round number 1. Former World Tag Team champion Axis in round number 2. former World Tag Team Champion Stan Lane in the semifinals, and he got a bye into the championship round. Meanwhile, Al Perez defeated the Handsome Stranger in round number 1. Hollywood John Tatum in the second round. Austin Idol in the semifinals. And in a match you saw earlier, Terry Gordy in a controversial decision where Gordy may have just lost his patience, wanting to get an opportunity to go for the title. His patience may have cost him a little bit there.
Certainly did. It cost him his position in this tournament, allowing Al Perez to advance to this championship match. The winner will be the North American Heavyweight Champion and will automatically become the #1 contender for the Global Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship.
The Patriot lifts up the Latin heartthrob and just pulls him up. Or rather pushes him away.
Take a look at the look on the face of Al Perez. Not the happy camper, as Dan Quayle is prone to say.
Looked more like Air Perez after that last move than Al Perez. Taking a flight courtesy of the Patriot.
The Patriot's background we don't know very much about. Al Perez we do know, and that he's been a very successful singles competitor, winning the World Class Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship, has also been a Universal Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion along with Wendell Cooley. He's well versed in both schools. The Patriot may have even better credentials. We just don't know who he is.
The current Global Wrestling Federation television champion in the finals of the North American Championship tournament.
Would create a very interesting situation to see the Patriot hold both the television championship and the North American Championship. I'll imagine the competition and championship committee of the Global Wrestling Federation would have to make a decision as to which title the Patriot will be allowed to keep.
And that's a bridge that we may have to come to if the Patriot does indeed come away with a championship, but Al Perez probably has a lot to say about that. Right now, the man with the advantage, the Patriot, just pumping the biceps, putting pressure on the temples of Al Perez, as Perez is kind of wondering if he's a Nautilus machine or what.
He needs a bit of oiling, I think.
Pulls him over, holding on to the headlock. Count of 1, count of 2. The Patriot with a near fall there. Now rolling over, Perez. Looks like he might have had a hold of the tights there. One near fall apiece.
Perez not above holding the tights. We've seen him do it before. Of course, he was, well, there's obviously a tight grab.
A count of 2. As unfortunately, grabbing the tights, if he could keep it for a count of 3 without the official seeing, is good enough for a championship. Count of 1. The official, I think he suspected something, which was the reason for the hesitation of the count. 4 near falls now, and the official quite wary of the situation. Now 6 times. The official counting again, apparently giving the benefit of the doubt to the Latin heartthrob.
I think Al Perez would be very well served to try another line of defense against the Patriots since this is not working so well.
And that time, the official has caught on to the situation that had given Al Perez 7 near falls.
Good officiating there.
Look at the power of the Patriot as the bicep clamps down right on the temples of the Latin heartthrob, whose head may be throbbing now.
Al Perez needs to get out of this headlock. Those big tree trunk arms of the Patriot wrapped around your skull for going on 2 minutes has got to take it out of you. It gives me a headache just thinking about it.
The Patriot trying to ease back, but Perez taking advantage with the right, and now sends the Patriot into the top turnbuckle. Perez grabbing the mask, takes him over, puts him into the turnbuckle on the other corner. says, I'll show you, Patriot. Turnbuckle number 3. And now, in what almost looks like a karate kick move, except there's no kicking involved, just an out-and-out choke by Al Perez.
Remarkable flexibility on the part of Al Perez, putting his foot 6 feet 4 inches up into the air.
And now using the top rope, trying to cut off the air of the man in the red, white, and blue. The fans starting to pick up the chant of USA, trying to help out the Patriot, as now going to work on the trapezius muscles. Al Perez on the Patriot.
The Patriot is almost now in the same position that Al Perez was earlier, although Al Perez maybe not quite as big as the Patriot. Perez still blessed with strength, can really just wrench that neck of the Patriot, but look at the Patriot coming back.
The Patriot using that power until the knee delivered by the Latin heartthrob follows up with a forearm to the back of the neck. Perez with a Patriot back in the corner, misses as the Patriot blocks and then delivers one on his own. The Patriot looking for a second win, but that win may have been taken out by that kick of Perez. Into the corner goes the Patriot. Perez follows up, misses with the elbow. The Patriot breathing quite heavily, trying to get the heart pumping. Perez going for the backdrop, telegraphed the move, read there by the Patriot. Gets him with a kick. The left lands on the jaw. One more time, that one spins Perez around, and Perez goes down on the third.
3 big, powerful punches from the Patriot. Drops Al Perez, and there's a drop kick. That takes him down a little bit quicker.
The Patriot pumping up. Sends Perez in to the rope. Backdrop. As there you see the man with the red, white, and blue psyching himself up. Perez trying to get out. Belly to back, count of 1, count of 2. Both men get shoulders up. The count is stopped. Both men think they may have won this. But no, count of 2. Perez taking advantage of the distraction. Sends the Patriot out to the ringside area. The Patriot trying to make it to his feet while Perez very confident inside.
Interesting situation there. We've seen that where both men have their shoulders on the mat. Both men have each of their own shoulders on the mat, and one will get the shoulders up.
Perez has his foot in the rope. It's a count of 3. The Patriot gets the 3 count, but says the foot was in the rope. The official raised the arm. A confusing situation. Perez attacking. The Patriot just had him covered.
What's going on here?
Al Perez coming in with a chair. The Patriot gets the 3 count. Perez's leg tangled up in the rope. The official counted 3. The Patriot even pointing out. We'll have to wait for the official. The Patriot and Perez facing off. And Perez throws the chair into the ring. And the Patriot has won it. Let's take a look at the replay, and there you saw it. The leg was in, but a count of 3, and there is your North American heavyweight champion. We will talk to the new champ when we return. This tournament, the man standing to my left had the television title in hand. Now, with the North American heavyweight champion, he is the Patriot.
Well, you know, guys, I've always prided myself on doing things the right way, being honest and working hard and giving a man a fair chance. Just like I tried to give Al Perez a fair chance. Tried to give him the benefit of the doubt to make sure things were done the right way. But evidently, Mr. Perez, you don't appreciate it. And I tell you what, You want to resort to such things as attacking me from behind. But you know what? Us as Americans, we're used to things like that. It's happened before. And we know how to respond. And we know how to fight back. And we know how to take matters into our own hands. And I realize I've taken on a great responsibility with this belt. Being the North American champion. A lot of people want it. But I tell you what, Al Perez, you've got first chance, man. Right here it is. It's mine. If you're man enough to take it, come get it. May the best man win.
That's exactly fair, Patriot. Congratulations on the victory and on being a sportsman and giving Al Perez another shot at the title. What's next for you? You're television champion and you're the North American champion. What are you going to do about that situation?
Well, I guess that'll be up to the powers to be in the GWF, whether or not they want to let me represent them with two different belts. But I tell you what, no matter what they decide, I promise you one thing. With the help of all these other Patriots, we'll represent them in a great way.
Congratulations to you, ladies and gentlemen, the North American heavyweight champion and the television champion, the Patriot. For Joe Pedicino and Boni Blackstone, along with Scott Hudson, I'm Craig Johnson. Thanks for being with us.